Cheers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us this week on Beers and Beards. I'm Jeremy Wiseman over there.
Yep, I'm right
Mikey
here.
Wilson.
I'm right here.
This is a show where we talk about states and how drunk they are, and to start every show, we will start with a shotgun. Is you're ready? Okay, hold on. Let me get my fingernails under there. All right, ready?
Cheers, bud.
Cheers. Ooh. Spicy.
We talked about shotgunning sweet points last week, temperature-wise.
Yeah.
That's not it. You can't leave it in the garage for a week and expect it to be room temperature.
No, especially not in Texas. Mine's in a dark corner in my laundry room. It's done okay.
Yeah, I'm having some issues with Facebook for some reason. I don't know why we're not live on Facebook, but I'm going to check my Twitter.
Cool.
We are definitely live on YouTube. I'm going to check my Twitter. Go ahead and introduce. Do you want to introduce the beer? I know.
No, you're going to introduce the beer.
All
I'm
right.
going to talk about the show. All right, so welcome to Beers and Beards. We are the Beard Boys.
The Beard Boys.
I like that. So on the show, we talk about different states within the U.S. of A, and we compare how drunk they are to the rest of the country. We talk about some different stats that include the percentage of residents of the regular drinkers, the average consumption per person, the percentage of those drinkers that are binge drinkers, and then we also have some cool ones, like we're able to compare if they're drinking more or less than they were 10 years ago. Also, we have our fun little the amount of craft breweries within that state per 100,000 drinking people. So this week we are continuing with our little northeast, our little northeast tour. Mike has picked a beer for us from New Hampshire. So we're going to talk about New Hampshire, and we're going to drink a beer from New Hampshire.
Okay.
I have not much about this beer. This is where Mike would chime in. But we have... Oh, we got it. All right.
I'm here. Sorry.
So I probably don't need to show the can since the can's right there.
Yeah, I've been finding that I can there's usually a GIF. No, not a GIF. I don't know why the word's escaping me, but usually there's a PNG of the can. And this one is just a PDF, but usually there's a PNG of the can, like last week we had on their website. So I've been trying to steal the can and throw it up here and give the brewery as much credit as we can. I mean, we're basing the show around them, so let's. We're drinking Pig's Ear, actually from New Hampshire this time. Last week, I was just telling Wiseman that last week I kept telling New Hampshire stories, and we were doing a Vermont beer, which, I mean, it's basically one state. If you look at it on a map, it's basically one state with a diagonal line straight across. I mean, look at it on a map. That's what happens. There was 12 colonies, and there was a fight in that colony, and they said, let's make it 13. Let's cut that son of a bitch right now.
That's probably what happened with Indiana and Illinois too, right? We were just basically one state.
Probably.
Right? No,
so
that's funny. I wonder what states you could actually say that. Like, oh, they're basically just one state.
So there's actually a show, and I think you might enjoy it. It's called How the States Got Their Shapes.
Huh. That probably would be good. Interesting.
It's actually really cool. He goes through. Hello, Michelle. And he goes through, and I forget what state this was, but there's a border line down like a main street of the town, and the border is actually like he took his like his satellite imagery stuff, and he brought it out, and he actually surveyed the land, and the line was actually 10 feet into the bar. So the line actually went right through the bar. It was pretty cool. But this is, again, back to New Hampshire. This is a brown ale. Finally not drinking an IPA on this show, which is a miracle by some nature. It's a New Hampshire brown ale. I actually went to this brewery while I was in New Hampshire. Very cool brewery. I don't know if there's more than one, but it's called the Woodstock Inn Brewery. It's literally a hotel and a brewery together, so you can just stay there. And when you walk in,
yeah, that's right.
When you walk in, so I walked in the hotel side, and it said it was a brewery, and I have no idea what I'm doing there. So I walk in and I go, it said it was a brewery out front, and it was literally just a desk with a little old lady sitting behind it with keys to doors. And she was like, "You're gonna go down the hall, and there's gonna be an arrow, and just follow the arrow, and you'll be right there." And it was actually a really cool bar. It had a live band station. It had a bar area where I bought some stickers. And this beer, not bad. Have you tried it?
I might have. That day you came home and you brought it all to that gathering at Crowns. So I probably have had it, but let's do it again. What do you think?
Absolutely. You want to twist my arm to drink beer?
I was getting thirsty. You were talking too much.
I shook mine up. It foamed. I got a little bit of head over here.
Show him his beer. Show him his beer.
This is where I live.
See, I'm surprised because I know that you enjoy porters and stouts more than most other beers, and I kind of follow you that way. I do like porters and stouts more, the stronger of them, right? I think I like stronger beers no matter what type it is. The most bang for your buck, right? This is pretty good, and I sometimes I struggle to include a brown ale in the same category as porters and stouts. I know that they're all dark beers.
Yeah,
but,
so it's funny you say that because I was going to, in my intro, I left it out. I was going to describe this as an ale that pretends to be a stout.
Huh. Okay. There's probably some brown ale enthusiasts within our large crowd of listeners. Just all of the people. There's got to be at least one brown ale enthusiast who's probably offended by that. So, and honestly, I'm not knowledgeable enough about brown ales to say you're wrong.
Yeah.
So, the stout ale. Cheers, dude. I don't know. It is pretty good, though.
I enjoy this one.
You like that cheers while I was drinking?
Yeah. You look like you tried to kiss me.
This setting is probably the only instance where that's actually an option. Can you imagine, like, you're sitting at the bar? Oh, cheers, dude.
Or like, the three.
Are those guys drinking or kissing?
Like 3 guys went to cheers and you weren't included. You're like, oh.
Yeah, and you just right inside. Oh man. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is pretty good. I'm excited to drink a couple, 2-3 of them in the next half hour or so. It's gonna be fun.
Nate Casper just joined us. He wants to know what's up, Jeremy.
Nate? I saw that. I see the screen now. What's up, Nate? Thanks for coming back after all of this time. This is our oldest fan, Mike.
I think so. Fan. He's actually going to be a guest on Region Degenerates this week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. If you ever need the big guy to come in,
dude, this is prime time.
Stupid.
This is prime time for the big guy because there are. Outside of March Madness, I mean.
Yeah.
This is prime time.
I've been on a couple times, and I was able to play. Are you smarter than a 5th grader? That's a fun segment. It's not sports, and I'm not a 5th grader, so I think I enjoy that. But it is fun to see how stupid Crown is.
Yeah.
Sorry if you're listening. I just ragged on him a lot of times in a row. Okay.
Not a chance he's listening.
Let's dive into New Hampshire. Mike, you were telling a lot of stories there when you visited the Vermont hybrid state. You enjoyed it though, right? You enjoyed New Hampshire. I know you're there in the winter. I know the Northeast probably gets a little more snow than you're used to in the Midwest.
So I got called a northerner there a few times, and it's shocking to travel north and still be called a northerner from where we're at. Hoodies, walking around in hoodies in 30-degree weather, that's region stuff for us.
Yeah, it is. That's true.
I mean, I was bundled up when I was out working, but when I went on that hike, the sun was peeking through. When I went to the bar, it's hoodie and jeans. It's just region stuff in that time of the year.
Yeah, they could probably tell that you're not from around there.
Yes.
Right. I mean, I don't know. Probably about as much as I would look out of place if I were to go into a small old state like that. But forgot where I was going with that, so that was super cool. Let's talk about New Hampshire. So, like I said before, we've got a few. Excuse me. This is probably the only time that belching is encouraged in the beer. Part of the beer culture, right? I don't know. Anyways, let's talk about New Hampshire. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The percentage of drinkers. Sorry, like an hour ago. So the percentage of drinkers within the state, we're gonna say 67.8% of them are regular drinkers. The average is 56.1, so we are above average in this category. Next, we're going to talk about the alcohol consumed in a unit of gallons per person. The average for the country is 2.5 gallons per person, and we're at 4.7 in the state of New Hampshire. 4.7, even higher than last week's Vermont. And then binge drinkers, I think, are almost as important as how many people regularly drink. I mean, because it scored highly. It scored highly in a Wiseman line. We talked about that later. But, binge drinkers considered a man who drinks 5 or more drinks in one setting, or for a woman it's 4 or more. And that falls at 30.6%. So 30.6% of their drinkers are binge drinkers, and that falls above the average for the United States, which is 26.9. So our next little category, it doesn't have as much weight, but I still like to talk about it, is the percent change over the past 10 years. New Hampshire actually has negative change. It has negative change, but so does the whole country. 10 years ago, we have actually decreased our consumption by 0.1%. New Hampshire has a 1.5% decrease. So, yeah, that's odd. That's odd. With everything scoring so high, they're actually drinking less. So imagine if we talked about this 10 years ago. I don't know, man. They might be scoring across the board. Lastly, which is one of my favorites, is craft breweries in the state within 100,000 drinking age adults, and the average is 3.9 per capita.
There we go.
And for New Hampshire, we are at 7.6%, so well above the average. So out of these 5 categories, I like to ask you, Mike, any thoughts on this? So we're scoring high in every category, except they just don't drink as much.
Yeah, that shocked me.
Northeast again, and it's pretty close to the hybrid of its state. So I probably shouldn't have told you that, because that gives a bit of a getaway. But I'm going to ask you at this point, how drunk is this state? On a scale of 1 to the bottom, where does this fall? We'll narrow it down to yes or no, and then we'll narrow it down some more. We'll kind of do what we did last week. I like that.
All right, top 25, top half.
Oh, yes, certainly.
Okay. I'm pretty confident, if you give me the 2.5 again, I'm pretty confident with saying 8.
Swing and a miss. New Hampshire is number 4. 2 ranks below last week's Vermont, which scored at number 2.
See, what I gotta stop doing, so I ask for the 2.5, and then I come up with a number, and then I back up 2.5, and then I give you that number. I gotta stop doing that.
Yeah, not for long, right? Because these aren't going to continue scoring.
Yeah, we got a 2 and a 4. Was it 2 last week or 1? It was 2 and a 4, right?
It was 2 last week and 4 this week.
And I'm
then
definitely not keeping track.
We can remember from before Christmas. We talked about Maine, and they were 14. And week 2, the week before that, we drank from Michigan, and that was ranked 24 around here. So we now have 24, 14, 4, and 2 out of the way.
We're all over the place. We gotta hit the Midwest. Yeah, we gotta hit the Midwest states to get them 50s out of here.
See, I'm trying to save them. We know what beers we can find. We actually got to figure out how we're gonna get some more of these harder to reach beers. We're gonna have to start like some kind of beer ordering membership or something.
I have to. I stopped on the way down. I have to send you 3 beers. I bought a 6-pack in Little Rock.
Oh, tight. Okay.
So I got to send you 3 beers. I just got to muster up the courage to go to the UPS store, the USPS store, and do that.
Yeah. So we've got the 2 stores around here. Wise Guys is fantastic, and then I would like to look at Binny's. I don't know if you've ever actually used a Binny's.
Yep.
Living in Chicago for 2 years, I learned my way around, and it's wonderful. Their selection is just really fantastic. Wise Guys is the closest thing we've got to it.
We have somewhere in between a Wise Guys and a Binny's. Not as good as a Binny's, but not as low as. It's a bigger selection than Wise Guys. It's called Feldman's.
Feldman's.
There's like 3 of them within a stone's throw of my house. And the best part about this house, the golf course is 3 minutes away. Right before the golf course, there's a drive-through liquor store.
Dude, we talked about you getting your golf, your membership for the year. You just get your golf cart too. You just ride on down, go through the drive-through. Man, wow. This is just everything's lining up perfectly right now.
Oh, yeah.
For what is required of golf: a cart and beer.
You don't even need your gloves.
All the ducks are in a row. All the ducks are in a row for you. Okay, so let's get back to it. Sorry, that was a fun little segue. I enjoyed that.
That shit's gonna happen.
So we get to the Wiseman line. Again, this is a scoring system that I created. No one understands it, kind of like how we compared the QB rating, and just no one really, it's just there, and we know that it means something. That's the wise ass line, okay? That's what we got right here. So with me taking the scoring from my 5 criteria we've discussed, I have scored this to be drunk or not drunk. That is the line. If you are above the line, you're drunk. If you're not, you're not. You're just not drunk. So, Mike, I'm going to ask you. It's pretty obvious at this point, I think.
I think it crosses the wise ass line.
So it would be safe to consider that it's a drunk.
It's a drunk state.
It is a drunk state. Yes, this is one of the states that does fall above the Wiseman line. We actually have had more states above the line than below. 3 out of 4 so far have been above my line. So,
did you go Michigan above or below?
Michigan actually landed below.
That's what I thought.
But eventually someone's going to figure out where the line is if we keep talking about this and if they pay enough attention. But, okay, I'll just change it every once in a while, fuck it. No one's going to know except me.
True.
Yeah, so that was cool. New Hampshire is pretty drunk. They actually ranked 2 in the percent of regular drinkers, number 1 in gallons consumed, number 10 for binge drinkers, 31 for percent change, and 7 for craft breweries per state. Oof. So they're up there. They're up there. That's pretty cool. I like to see that. All right, so that is my part of New Hampshire. What's next? What's next? What's coming from you, Mike?
We have inventions coming from New Hampshire. Inventions, ideas, and/or firsts is what I'm now going to start referring to this as, because the list starts growing. I type inventions from New Hampshire, and they give me a lot of firsts. Last week we had an original 13 colony. This week we have another original 13 colony. So you're going to get a lot of firsts in these earlier states, as New Hampshire was the first territory to declare its independence from England. Not in 1776, in 1775.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
Before any other colony had done so.
So they came up with the idea, and then a year later, the U.S. of A. was like, deuces.
Hey,
Vermont's got a good idea. We like what he's doing. We're gonna go that way. That's fun. I like that.
New Hampshire was the first state to send a man into space.
What year was this?
Alan Shepard was the first man to launch into space on May 5th, 1961.
Huh. Yeah, I don't really have many space facts, so I really don't know if that's much earlier or how much earlier that is than most of our space exploration conversations.
It does say he later walked on the moon, so he returned to walk on the moon. And then they footnoted he even hit 2 golf balls.
That part's made up. I will believe it for a second. And any of our loyal, all of our, hundreds of loyal listeners, they would agree with me. I mean, they all know you by this point.
Speaking of loyal listeners, Ryan Moore jumping in.
we got a Skeeter in the house.
I gotta get. Oh, that's gonna stay up there for a while. All right. It was the first state to host international peace talks. In 1905, the war between Russia and Japan was settled in New Hampshire on a peace treaty, which also won Teddy Roosevelt the Nobel Peace Prize.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, so like I said, with these earlier colonies or earlier states, you're going to get a lot of firsts like this. Like the first state to form a ski club.
Did you do any skiing when you were up there? I think we talked about this for Vermont, but we were also talking about New Hampshire.
I meant New Hampshire. Yeah.
So...
No, I didn't. I wanted to go snowboarding, but I was afraid that my legs would be too worked to actually work the next day. Here's my favorite one. Oh, you know what I didn't ask you? And we haven't gotten to any actual inventions yet. If you were to say this was invented in New Hampshire, what would this?
Clubs.
Ski clubs.
Oh shit! All right.
Actually,
no, go ahead.
Actually, we've already talked about ski clubs. Skis were invented in Michigan.
Huh. Nice. Oh yeah, we did talk about that, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so something that I've never even been in like that area of the country.
It's tough. It's a tough question.
I've been out west. I've been down south. I've hit pretty much everything.
Shotgun tip off.
I've been to some of the East Coast, but never Northeast like that. So New Hampshire. Oh, do we have a state flag? Do we have a state flag?
I didn't have the state flag up. We do have a shotgun bell, though.
Oh, okay. We'll do that, and then I'm going to look at the flag for inspiration, because for some reason that's going to tell me what's going on.
Okay, I can jump to the next invention, because you're not going to say this one. Cheers, bud.
Yep, cheers. Woo! Okay, so I might be impaired because I almost opened that bitch upside down. Literally upside down. Not sideways. Nothing. It was literally... That was almost horrible.
I don't know why we didn't switch scenes here. I don't know what's going on. Oh well. I'm going to keep on going. So the first invention we get to, something that I relate to dearly, and our podcast on Friday relates to dearly. Lottery tickets were invented in New Hampshire.
I played lottery tickets for a very long time. I'm talking a long time. A couple guys at work got me hooked on them. These guys are, they're spending $100, $200 a day. It's wild. But yeah, every once in a while I'll give them $20, go buy me a $20 ticket, and yeah, I kind of jumped back into it for a little bit. I felt like I was breaking even, but I know I wasn't. I don't know. I probably played for 3 months. Every time I got gas, I'd get a ticket, and yeah, eventually that fizzled out. Right at $20 in my pocket. I probably just started to dip a little bit negative, barely.
I think it's worth it.
It's exciting. Also, I just went to a baby shower last weekend, and prizes for the games were scratch-offs. I mean, seriously,
That's so. There, do you know that there's actually a scratch-off community where they go in and they buy the whole brick of scratch-offs from gas stations or like grocery stores, wherever they sell lottery tickets?
Wow,
it's insane.
That reminds me of when Garrett bought the box of.
Oh yeah.
That's funny. I like that. I want to get a machine.
And there's I know in Indiana there's an app you can download. It's literally the Indiana lottery app, and it tells you how many like big winners are left, how many winners have hit, like how many are still floating out there.
Wow.
And people go and buy bricks of the big winners that are left.
That's crazy.
Asinine. Did you get to the flag? Do you have a guess for me?
Yeah. So we got to a flag. I'm going to say that all right. So on the flag, we got a nice ship coming in on a beach. Beach must be important. I'm going to say lifeguard.
Lifeguard was invented. Probably the first lifeguard. Not on my list. I'm not telling you you're wrong. It's just not on my list.
All right, now I gotta look. But go ahead, continue.
The next one that comes up here is the first alarm clock was invented. The alarm clock was invented in New Hampshire, and it says if you're mad at Concord, was his name. If you're mad at him, the alarm clock that he invented was set to go off at 4 a.m. There was no adjusting it. It was an alarm clock made to go off at 4 a.m.
Nice. It's not too far off, but no matter what, you're waking up at 4 o'clock.
Here's your.
It didn't even have like an on-off button.
I'm sure it just went. It's a 3-minute alarm. So here's you said there was a ship on the flag. The first steamship was created in New Hampshire.
Dude, I don't know why I didn't go with obviously steamship. I mean,
here's a big one. The first presidential primaries was held in New Hampshire.
Wow, a lot of stuff going on over there.
That's one of the 13, man. This is one of my favorites outside of the lottery tickets. They established a credit union. St. Mary's Bank was opened in Manchester in 1908. New Hampshire residents can still bank at this very bank today.
That is cool. I like that a lot.
They're also the first state to send a private citizen into space. Unfortunately, that spaceship exploded and everybody died. But they were the first.
Is that real?
Yeah. yeah. That's real. Maybe
we should omit those ones before the death parts.
You wanna make it worse?
Yeah, let's hear it.
She was a school teacher. She will always be
really sad. It was really sad if she was like kindergarten.
Yeah, that's all it said was school teacher.
We can only assume it's absolutely worse than kindergarten.
The drip coffee pot was created in New Hampshire. The indoor fireplace was created in New Hampshire, which I think is kind of a cop out. I'm pretty sure there's a lot. I'm pretty sure there was a lot of I want to talk about this for a minute. How many inventions do you think people were just doing until someone like copyrighted it? Like indoor fireplaces. Like who didn't have?
There's got to be a lot of it,
right? Like,
so maybe I don't know. Maybe it's as simple as people they had fires to keep warm, but maybe they like literally just had like a small fire on the ground or in a bucket? And what if this was like actual one that was made of brick or stone to be able to actually house a fire? I wonder.
The first modern kitchen stove, the Drift coffee pot, the double boiler, which is another coffee pot, the indoor fireplace, first alarm clock, the Concord coach. So when you picture like a Wild West and the two horses are drawing a carriage, that coach that you're picturing, first one was created in New Hampshire.
That makes sense.
I
imagine it wasn't invented in like California.
Yes.
Right?
But
that makes sense.
I don't think the concept of the horse-drawn carriage was created in New Hampshire. I think the fancy one in like Men in Black I think of right away where the bad guy rode off. The fancy horse-drawn carriages that was created in New Hampshire.
Yeah, the ones that like families would travel with.
Yes.
More than just like supply wagons.
Yes.
Yeah, I get you. I get your sense.
So this is a really cool story. Mount Washington Cog Railroad. So this guy, I read up on this a little bit. So this guy, his name is Sylvester Marsh. He hiked a mountain in New Hampshire, Mount Washington. And this was in 1852. And he came back down and he said, man, it'd be so much easier if... Now, I'm ad-libbing here. I'm taking a little bit of liberties. Man, this would be so much easier if just like a train went up to the top of that mountain. So he took that in front of the board for New Hampshire. And New Hampshire basically laughed. It says they laughed at Marsh, saying that he might as well build a railroad to the moon. That's verbatim in this article.
That part, yeah.
So Marsh paid $5,000 of his own money to create this railroad to the top of the mountain. The Cog Railroad continues to chug visitors to the top of the mountain today.
And what time period is this?
1869 is when it was built.
That's crazy.
6,288 feet high. Well, up the mountain.
So I just looked up the quick conversion rate from dollars in 1869, and it always says $100,000, and that can't be real to create a train.
The conversion rate's probably correct, but like the interest rate on owning a train, there's no way that you can get that for $100,000. To build that today, no shot.
Huh.
But the conversion rate's probably true. But like the price of materials and labor and all that has gone through the roof, right? Like
Right.
The conversion rate of 5 to 100 is probably correct. That's all I have, I think. Yep, that's all I had.
That was fun. I do enjoy the few minutes of history talk.
And it's only history because we're in these old states. When we get these new states, it's going to be pretty boring. Like Michigan wasn't great.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, that is true. I'm curious to see what kind of stuff we could talk about as we enter different regions of the country, like cool inventions in the Midwest versus cool inventions in the Pacific
Exactly.
Northwest. Okay, so is there something in? I don't think there is. I think this is what we got here, guys.
Dad jokes.
Dad jokes. Yes, dad jokes. The closing of our show.
Before you get into this, I just wanted to tell you that yours and Michelle's wedding was beautiful. Even the cake was in tears.
I wasn't ready. You're a fucking... Anyways, oh, that was good.
All right, bottom the first.
Do you have any idea what the score is? Like,
no shot.
So we've done this for 5 weeks. I guess we can just let's just omit the first 3 weeks.
I think it's got to be at least. I mean, the ratio. It has to be at least 2-0 or 1-0.
Well, let's just start. No, you're right. We should probably have as many points as we've had weeks. So, I'm inclined to agree with you, and I will say that I am up 1. so it is 3-2. That's just our assumption that we're going to use moving forward.
Okay.
Right?
You know
Okay,
what?
cool.
I'll go back and figure that out this weekend.
Oh yeah, that's right. We can totally find that out.
It's not that hard. It's documented.
That information probably is available. Okay.
Bottom of the first, you're up.
Oh yes, that's right. We're still doing the podcast. All right.
I saw that joke and I was like, I'm leading dad jokes with this. I don't care what he said. I don't care if he laughs and bitches and fits. I'm leading with this.
You know, I knew something was up, man. I'm like, this is, I don't know. That was like 6 months ago, dude.
Yeah.
Literally almost 6 months ago. Okay, bottom one. Let's see here. Where was I? We totally did Satisfactory. Eclipse It. That's familiar. Yes. Last week we ended on one beer and a mop. Okay, so where do fruits go on vacation?
I don't know.
Pair this.
Oh. Oh, I know why, because our clock ran out. I didn't delete our clock. Oh. Sorry about that if you're listening. One person. Michelle or Nate? I'm sorry.
She's probably gonna see that I actually disappeared right now. It's already back on. Okay, so yeah, Paris. Not funny. Alright, whatever.
It's fine.
Top one.
I got some ones that aren't funny in here either. Top of the second.
Sounds funny. Sounds like a good one.
What do you call cheese when it's all by itself?
I don't know.
Provolone.
I guess that's a laugh. Shit.
I think so.
I laughed at the segue that happened in my head. I was just thinking, you said provolone, and I was like Post Malone, and then I was thinking like cheese Malone. I'm gonna drink for my own joke that I made up in my head. That's cool. And you're ahead. You are ahead.
Nate, I said I'm sorry to the one listener. It's either Nate or Michelle, and Nate replied that it was Michelle. Does he get a point for a dad joke?
He should. He has our first point with dad jokes that don't matter at all.
Where the points are made up and nobody cares.
Yes, exactly.
So whose line is it anyway, Joe? All right, bottom of the second, you're up.
I asked my dog, what's 2 minus 2? He said nothing.
You got 2 misses so far, man.
Dude, I almost laughed at myself. That's fucking good.
I was expecting like a wolf. Like I don't know how to make wolf a number.
Well, he said nothing. He's a dog.
I get it. I get it. Like, what do you call a dog with no legs? I get it. I get it. I said I get it. All right, top of the third. Hey, I hate perforated lines. They're terrible.
This is not fair. I'm under the influence. I mean, your face is funny. I'm laughing at your face. I don't know what to do with these jokes. Yeah, that was almost good. I think everything is going to make me just laugh today. I'm enjoying it.
Popping a Tecate.
Tecate. Really adjusting to the culture.
Oh yeah, I went golfing with my neighbor last week, and he's been golfing 3 times, and I made him do a shotgun tip-off.
Nice.
And then he left like 10 of these in my car. He's like, just keep them.
All right, sweet.
Juan's a good dude. I like him.
Bottom three. Mike is up with 1 giggle.
1-0.
0 giggles. What's the best thing about Switzerland?
Swiss cheese.
I don't know, but the flag is a big plus.
That was funny.
Yes.
That was just funny.
Sorry it took so long. I read the joke and I didn't understand it, so I didn't. The first one, I skipped that one. But it works because Switzerland was a good one. That was funny.
All right, I think I have two close. Well, the cake one was my closer, but I decided to make it my starting pitcher for the day. I don't know which one of these is going to be the closer. It all depends on the delivery, I guess. But all right, top of the four. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? He was outstanding in his field.
That's pretty good. I like that one a lot, actually. That's really funny. I'm sorry I couldn't laugh. Love to laugh at that joke. Bottom four, is that where we're at?
Bottom four, yes, sir. 1-1.
What does a sprinter eat before a race?
I don't know.
Nothing. They fast.
It's funny. It's just funny.
It is. I'm really glad to have a lead back.
2-1. All right, come on, closer. Why did the Can Crusher quit its job? Because it was soda pressing.
I like that. I do. It's not one of your bests, but I do enjoy it. I'll have to remember that for a couple of years. Whenever I have a kid, I might understand it. And the last joke of the day. You can laugh at this freely if you'd like.
It's 2-1. You won already.
It's 2-1. Good game. Where do you learn to make a banana split?
I feel like I always want to know the answer to these. Like, not you tell me. Like, I always like, I should know this. This is going to be so stupid. I should know this. Go ahead.
Sunday school.
See, that should... I hate it because it's just like, it's such an easy pun. And I'm sitting here like a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, like a 4-year-old would probably know the answer. If you actually said it to them.
Exactly.
They're just old human brains.
It's just like, there's a pun here. I worked 8 hours and drank 5 beers already, and I should know this pun.
Yeah. All right, so I appreciate that was a nice little victory there. Mike, I think we are going to what's our time looking like? Oh yeah, we're up there already.
45 minutes.
I think we need to bring this week's episode to its natural close. Anyone who is listening, are you going to do the Skype call thing again for a little bit?
Yeah, Nate, you want to jump on? Still one in here. I'm assuming it's Nate.
Yeah. So whoever.
Nate, if you have a Skype, text me your Skype, and I'll get you in the call, and me and Wise will have a beer with you. I'll have a tecate with you.
Sweet. Any final thoughts after that, Mike?
No, I very much. I think we need to start splitting them up and saving the other 10 colonies, the original 10 colonies, because I very much enjoy the history lesson. I'm not a history buff by any means, but I think that the inventions or the firsts, they lead to interesting conversations and topics. So I think we need to split them up and not blow our load on the like, we can't go bang 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 and then just go straight to the fucking East Coast or the West Coast. I'm just like, whew, not a lot over here, bud.
All right, yeah, I agree. I think we could do that. I really enjoyed this episode. This was a lot of fun. The jokes are always fun.
Yes.
Am I lagged up?
No, Nate. He said he's gonna get a shirt on.
It just popped up on my end. That's funny. Yeah, so I had a lot of fun. This is really cool that we're able to do this. Thanks everyone for joining us, or if you're watching it tomorrow or the next day, join us next week. It's a lot of fun. New Hampshire's drunk. Who knew? I mean, this one beer that I've ever had from New Hampshire is delightful.
It is pretty good. And the bars that I went to were very locally. Like, I don't ever feel, well, coming from being a white redheaded kid from Gary, I don't ever really feel out of place. But when you go in there, it's kind of just like, whew, real locally here.
All right. Well, this concludes week 5, New Hampshire. It was fun. Mike, I'm glad we're able to do this. I'll talk to you a little bit after this. But to everyone else, see you next week. Cheers. And you all